Hi, welcome to the Plus Platoon. My name's Derek, and I am one of the members of the Plus Platoon. We are a Disney Plus fan podcast that gives honest, spoiler-filled reviews of movies and shows on Disney Plus. We look at new releases, coming attractions, and we'll even go back into the vault to revisit some of the classic Disney that's on the platform. Before I bring on the rest of the platoon, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to us on YouTube. Search Plus Platoon and click on the pink letter P, like, subscribe, and share. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Plus Platoon. So with that, I would like to welcome in Kate. Kate, sis, how are you?
I'm so good, my friend. How are you tonight?
Doing very, very well. Glad, got through a Wednesday. We're over half done with the week, so we're doing okay.
You betcha.
Okay. Next, we want to bring in, after a week's absence, Sam. Sam, how you doing this evening?
Hi, my friends. How are you guys doing up there?
Doing well.
Good. I'm doing great.
Good.
Happy to be back.
Great. And last, and certainly not least, is Peter. Pete, how you doing this evening?
Hi. How's everybody doing? I was off last week too, so
yeah.
I was watching from Vegas.
Yeah, you were.
Uh-huh.
And I lost.
Oh.
Well, most of those places aren't built by the winners. So
yeah.
True.
Did you put money on black for me at the roulette table?
I did not get the opportunity to, no.
Yeah.
I was too busy losing money elsewhere.
That's why you lost.
Yeah.
That's why you lost.
I did, yeah.
So, to start off with, Kate, what is some of the Disney Plus news?
Oh, get excited, everybody. It is time for Disney Plus news. Oh, yeah, that's what I should do. I'm going to make a theme song every time. It's fine. Anyway, first of all, the movie Rio is coming to Disney Plus. It is coming because it was part of Disney purchasing Fox. So that's exciting. If you don't remember Rio, Derek, it's the movie about birds, right? Yes. It's the movie about birds. Next, we have Earth Moods, which is a relaxing landscapes. It's just pictures of landscapes with relaxing music. They are each about 6 to 8 minutes long. So if you're having a moment during your day and you just need to take a breath and you want to just relax for 6 to 8 minutes, put on Disney Plus Earth Moods and it will totally rejuvenate you. And last but not least, coming May 28th, we have Disney Launchpad Season 2. Directors were announced today. Disney Launchpad is basically short films, and it is not Launchpad from DuckTales. That was my fault, because I thought it was Launchpad from DuckTales, because I love DuckTales. Back to you, Derek.
And it would have been a great show, but,
Yes.
They don't listen to us. So, okay, next. Big news this week was Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 4. Sam, what were your thoughts?
Sam, you're muted.
Hold on. Okay. Pete, while she's working on how to mute, and Kate, you're muted through StreamYard. So there's the mute button on StreamYard is what you need to hit. Pete, what were your thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier 4?
Well, I'm the only one that can talk, I guess.
I got it.
There she is.
Sorry.
We're doing really good today, everybody.
Sorry.
It's live, everyone.
This is a live show. So thanks, you guys. So sorry. Okay, so I really enjoyed this week's episode. In particular, I really liked the Wakandan warriors. I loved the fight scene with the Wakandan warriors and and Sam and Bucky and with Walker and with Hoskins. It was just a really great scene. It was nice to see the shield used against Kroger Cap because, as we've talked about, none of us are really huge fans of Kroger Cap. One thing I want to say, though, that I didn't get to say last week because I wasn't here, is one of my favorite things so far about the series was in episode 3, which is the dancing scene of Zemo. And so I like that we got to see more of Zemo, and Zemo actually being kind of the smart one. But yeah, Zemo was doing a little bit of a fist pumping, kind of like this, not like Jersey Shore fist pumping, but I was really enjoying it. And if you look on the interwebs, friends, there is extended scene of Zemo dancing. But anyway, I thought episode 4 really great, and I won't give a spoiler about the next question. So I will throw it to you, Pete.
Okay, so I'll give my overall. I'm starting to move to Team Derek here, though. I'm not completely loving this series. I like some aspects of each episode. I don't want to stop watching, but it feels like a really long Marvel movie that they forgot to edit, and there's a lot of characters. I actually listed it out. There's 7 sides right now of like different groups that are not different working together. So there's like all these characters, and I feel like we're not going to really resolve anything because there's only 2 episodes left, and I don't know. I'm not loving the show. I'm okay with it. I mean, it's, I think it's a good show to talk about with people. And so in this format, it's worth watching, but it's not my favorite thing Marvel's done. It's not my least favorite, but it's not in the top half, I don't think, unless they really save it with the last 2 episodes. I just think they got too many characters and too many little side stories going on. And yeah, I mean, I like the Wakanda warriors, but it's like, okay, why are they here?
They're after Zemo. I mean, yeah,
well, I know they are, but like we don't need them to propel the story. It's just another side plot in the show that already has too many side plots, in my view. But
yeah,
that's my opinion. So what do you think, Derek?
Well, I will say Ed is on your side, but those 7 sides are what makes for a complex and rich plot. Are we done yet? That's my impression. Are we done yet? We are at the good guy has turned a bad moment in the movie, along with the crisis of confidence for the bad guy. I mean, Marvel movie ever, or every action movie, I would even argue, followed by the mafia, be a shame if something happened to your family. Okay. This is about hour 30, hour 45 into a normal movie. Sadly, we still have 2 hours to go. Okay. There's not much is happening. Yes, Kroger Cap has gone rogue, although I would argue he's not even Kroger Cap. He's not even store brand. He's great value. He's like the knockoff store brand that you can get, like think Suave shampoo, 3 gallons of shampoo for $1. And it's, there's a big reveal coming the next episode. Power Broker is showing up, supposedly played by a big name actor, supposed to be super emotional, which means someone dies. I know Zemo will either be found or he'll still do that stupid head tilt, which I loved that line. That was my one thing I liked about this. He's probably looking at doing that stupid head tilt and he goes, never mind. So and Willie, made the comment, see the importance of the scene where he's spit on. Yeah. I mean, yes, he's not being respected. I'm not sure that led him to go berserk. I think what led him to go to berserk was combination. I think it would have been real interesting to see if his friend hadn't died, what he would have done. But it's just, I'm not, at least with WandaVision, there was a story arc that's mostly resolved. There is no way this gets resolved in the next 2 hours. And they're not even trying. WandaVision could have been wrapped up without the post-credit scene. WandaVision is a vehicle unto itself if it wanted to be. This isn't even trying. But Kate, where are you at? Are you
okay.
Derek, or where are you?
There's so much. Yes, Derek, I do agree with you and Pete on this one. I'm gonna be honest, these 2 jokers stole my points. Sam and Pete, they totally took mine. There's so many plot lines, and I know people are talking about it in the chat right now. There's so many plot lines that it's like, I don't know, like, and Derek, you like to talk about the guy from the first 30 seconds of the show.
Rock.
That's another dangling. So there's so much.
Oh, I didn't include him in my 7, so he would make 8.
Perfect.
Okay.
There's so much, and it's like I don't know what I'm supposed to be following. I'm gonna be honest. While I don't like Kroger Cap, Great Value Cap, I had a moment in this episode where I was like, oh man, I think I feel like he's one of those like going to hell for a heavenly cause. Like I feel like he really wants to do good. Like he keeps saying like, we could have saved so many people if we had that serum and like all this stuff. And so halfway, 3/4 of the way through the episode, I was like, oh man, like I know he's not Chris Evans, like he's not Steve, but I feel like there's good in him. And then
yeah.
And then he snapped. My other thing, I did not think I could like Sam any more than I already did. And I just love him so much. Falcon is quickly becoming one of probably my top 2 to 3 favorite Avengers. So, and it is entirely because of this show.
Yeah,
so.
I love Sam. He's a great character. One thing I want to point out in the chat is somebody named Facebook user says that the fight scene was epic and love how Walker finally realized he was vulnerable. I think that's where the Wakandan warriors were important, actually. So we needed that side plot in order to set up Walker understanding, that he was not really Cap and that he needed that super serum in order to be able to fight even mere mortals, meaning even people who were not super soldiers themselves. So I thought that plot line weaved in really nicely. I agree there's like 7 different plot lines, but honestly, I'm enjoying them all.
I also, Sam, meant to comment on this, that those Wakandan warriors, to me, there is no fiercer, I don't think that's the correct verbiage, of a character than those Wakandan warriors. And when that one warrior went and she like took her thing and then she like kicked the shield and it came up, like for a split second, I was like, could that be the new Cap? Because the power, and then the other one said, we don't need it. And she just like, gosh, that's so good. So good.
It was so awesome. It was such a like badass move from the female warriors. And I love that because right now our main characters, Carly is a main character and she's obviously a woman, but the other strong leads in this show are all male characters. So I really liked the injection of the Wakandan warriors.
Okay. Well, you got Sharon there too. I don't know if she's really a lead.
She's more of a minor assist character.
How is she? Why does she have monitoring abilities with Sam and everybody's location devices?
Because she's talking with Fury, who's on the moon.
Okay. So
no, you don't.
Let ask. Does it make him a?
So we were talking about Sam, and I did want to say, I am enjoying Sam as a character. He's one of the few characters that has been developed on this show. Again, early on, one of the things I said, it's 6 hours of television. I want to see. Yes, I know he's on the moon. I wanted to see some character development in there, and I feel like I started getting that in the first 2 episodes. They had the therapy session between Sam and Bucky. I was like, oh, this is kind of entertaining. I kind of like this a little bit. The last 2 episodes has been all just like plot, and all these.
You don't think?
It's plot.
Yeah, but you don't.
Grains of sand of plot. It's
you don't think him talking to Carly and trying to talk her down that was part of that? I feel like that was part of getting to know Sam more, and sort of to Kate's point, I feel like it made me love him even more.
Yeah, I think they're still giving Sam some things, but we've kind of, I don't know. I feel like we've kind of lost Bucky. I mean, with Zemo there, they're trying to do it, but I don't know. Bucky just seems more like, I don't know. It's not. As I said, it's not fully working for me.
Yeah.
But
Glenn said,
talk about. Okay.
Well, does it make him a supremacist that he was sad to see all the super soldier serum broken? Maybe a little, but
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of hoping Sam might get accidentally stuck with the serum. That was my prediction, was that, there was going to be some tussle and Sam was going to get accidentally poked and become a super soldier. So,
okay.
Actually, that was another thing I liked, was when Zemo and Sam were together and Zemo asked him if he would take the super soldier serum, and he immediately said no. And Zemo's like, I'm impressed that you made that decision. So, you were ready to say that so quickly. And it really says something about Sam that, that's probably the people that should have the super soldier serum are people that don't really want it.
Right. Yeah. Ed says Walker got the shield dirty, but they can clean it by using cleaning products they purchased from his real grocery store on, wait for it, the moon. Chad agrees. It's with Pete, it's really drawn out. It's not coming together. Facebook user disagrees. And guys, for Facebook users, make sure you give StreamYard permission so we know who we're talking to. So we'd love to talk to you and interact with you. So Facebook says, nope, not a comic book person, and I'm keeping up and loving it. Date night every week for hubby and anxiously await each episode. So sad, only 2 left.
I hear you, Facebook user. That Brian and I are watching every Saturday morning. Actually, Brian and I are eating our breakfast in front of the television, watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then watching Mighty Ducks right thereafter.
Yeah. Ryan says, so much hate on a show he loves. Have one question. How dare we? Hey, it's what we do. So
we're being honest. What can I say?
Rebecca says, the amount of side stories they have sets up the abilities for more seasons. But you shouldn't have an entire season just to set up more seasons. I mean, Chad agrees. Yeah, it's now no ad cap.
Do we think there might be maybe a spinoff with Zemo? There could be a Zemo show. I would just watch him doing his
his dancing. Yeah,
his dancing.
Rebecca made an interesting point. She doesn't think we're going to see the Power Broker. Or could it be, okay, how about this? End credit scene after episode 6.
Yep, it's exactly what I was going to say.
I think that's where that would be very Marvel.
Unless Sharon is the Power Broker.
Okay. Did anyone else notice that during that scene where she was on the phone or something, she literally walked past
through that barricade? Yeah.
Yes. I am not convinced that and I know Rebecca, my sweet little sister, she has great input on this, and she does not think that she's the Power Broker. I'm not convinced. I don't trust Sharon. I don't trust her.
I agree. I'm not sure. She's either working with Fury or she's the Power Broker. It's one of the two.
She's clearly not working primarily with them, but I don't think she's the Power Broker, only because why would she have let them in to see that guy
and destroy the
only
serum?
To have them kill him and destroy it, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, clearly Zemo is the one with the most clear agenda. He wants to get rid of the super soldiers.
Right.
He has, he's a bad guy. He'll do whatever it takes. He doesn't care who he kills, whatever he wants to get rid of so it's one thing that she would have let Cap and Bucky in there. I mean, not Cap,
but she
Bucky
had to know what Zemo was going to do.
But she had to know that putting Zemo in there would have been a big risk to her business. So I don't think because of that, it wouldn't make sense to me that she's the Power Broker, but
Glenn here is saying Sam's the only unsullied character. He better take the mantle of Cap by series end. I think it's inevitable. I mean, and I don't think there's anyone who doesn't think that that's going to happen. Partially because there's leaked Hasbro toys of him as Falcon Captain America.
I haven't seen that. But of course, he's got to take up the Cap mantle for sure.
Yeah. DCO, Brian is apparently watching. Wants to know if we can get series Trials of the Wakandan Warriors. That would be great.
I would watch that.
There is supposedly a Wakandan series in the works.
And there's a Black Panther 2 coming out.
Right, but there's also a series based on Wakanda. So,
okay.
Cool.
And yes.
Yeah. Rebecca, makes comment that lots of parallels to the societal issues going on in the U.S. I think that's the best part of the whole episode. It's there. Yeah, definitely. I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also loved that one of my favorite lines in the whole show was, I'm on, like, I agree with your mission. Or I'm not going to quote it correctly, but he was like, I'm on your side. Like, I agree with you. I just don't agree with the way that you're
how
going
you're doing it. Yeah, that was Sam. That was Sam and Carly. Good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So good.
And
Glenn says
I thought at a point she would come to the side of good, but when they
I don't think it's over yet.
Up that I don't think. Well, maybe I don't think she comes to the side of good.
Yeah, I don't think she is going to either, but I thought it was a valiant effort.
Yeah, Glenn says he is loving the show, lots of threads, but that's what he wants from a Marvel show. It's a lot like Watchmen with the topical content. So Vicky says she's not loving it, but wants to see how it ends. Sure.
Yeah, that's where I am. That's where I am. I mean, I'm not going to stop, and I don't want to come off as hating it. It's okay to me. I mean, it's, not everything's going to be great. It just isn't that way. And to me, it's not great. It's not bad. It's just it needs to come up in the last 2 episodes to me to be something that I'd want to revisit.
That's fair. Okay, now we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but Pete, can Walker be saved?
Ooh, I think the way they're playing him, I'm gonna say no. Clearly part of what they're showing to him is, I think what they're showing to him is to show him as being anti-Cap, right? I mean, right from the beginning, he has the motives that he wants to do good, but he's not really, his methods aren't pure, and they become less pure as we go along. I mean, in a way, it's understandable the things he did in this episode. He, as you say, got beat up by the Wakandans, so he sees his chance to grab the super. Once you saw the super soldier serum, was there anybody that thought he wasn't going to take it? No, of course he was going to take it. So he took the super soldier serum, surprising nobody, and then poor Battlestar. you can kind of understand his anger there. But the way he responded so violently, I just don't see. I don't see that. But I think a lot of that is going to be. I mean, they very purposefully at the end showed everybody with their cameras filming him doing that. So I think this is going to be like a tarnished image going forward, and I don't see how he recovers from that.
Okay. What
about you?
My initial response was, who cares? Because we haven't made a connection with Walker. There was the one scene with him in the locker room and that fake interview on the football field. And then there was the whole, there was a conversation between him and Battlestar about he got 3 medals of honor for a day he just as soon forget.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I mean, they're drawing the huge parallels. Sam immediately said no, and Battlestar and Walker both said absolutely yes, I'm taking the serum. Mm-hmm. So it's just that balance there is just, I mean, they're making the big, huge contrasts. I do think they are setting him up as U.S. agent, though. Because U.S. agent is very much I'm going to get the job done. I don't care what it takes. So
I can see him not dying before the end of the show, but I just don't see him. I don't see him on the side of good. I think right from the beginning they set him up for us not to like him.
Yeah,
and they just keep doing things to make us like him less. And I don't see redemption in this show.
That's fair. Kate?
I agree 100%. Like I said, I was not rooting for him because he'll never be Steve Rogers, but he was never meant to be Steve Rogers, as Pete, you just said. And I had another moment where he talked about when him and is it Battlestar? Is that
Yeah.
his name?
Hoskins, Battlestar.
Every time I hear Battlestar, I think Battlestar Galactica. So I get very confused.
Which is a better show, but anyway.
It is a great show.
But when they had that conversation of, would you take the serum? Absolutely. And he said, do you know how many people we could have saved that day? You have this moment of these aren't inherently bad people. Are they, sorry, my nose is so itchy tonight and I don't know why. Are they Steve Rogers? No. But in that little conversation right there, it was like I could see a shining bit of good. And then but to me, you cannot come back from when he stands up and there is blood on the bottom of the shield. And that you don't come back from that. You don't come back from that. So I don't know what's going to happen. But no, I don't think you can come back from that. So what about you, Sam?
So I'm gonna a little bit agree and a little bit disagree. And so I'm gonna say, can he be redeemed in 2 episodes? No, he's not going to be redeemed before the end of this series, but can he be redeemed later on in the series? I think yes. I think we're going to see a redemption story, and I think we're going to see him end up joining the Avengers. He's not going to be Cap, though. He's going to be this Agent USA, I think, the name that Derek used. U.S. agent. Sorry, U.S. agent. So I do think he's going to have a redemption story, but I do think it's going to be further down the road in a different movie or in a different TV series that we see in the future. But because of all of the things that Kate said, I do think he is going to be redeemed. He does have good intentions, and we've seen other characters we're seeing it in front of our eyes, Zemo being redeemed to some degree, right? We're seeing that Zemo, I'm not saying Zemo's going to be a hero, but we're seeing Zemo help out the good guys.
Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we're not going to get the full redemption of him becoming Captain America that we all love and being Steve Rogers, but we're going to see him redeem in some way. And I think he's going to be a superhero. He's just not going to be a lead superhero. He's going to be one of these sort of more minor superheroes.
And I will say, your other half of the DCO duo agrees with you. Thinks Walker will have a redemption story. He'll kill someone.
He's a very smart guy. He did marry me.
Yeah. So he'll kill someone he cares about or is important and have the realization he has to change his ways. He won't be capped by the end of the series. I don't think there's anyone that thinks he is. I'm on that though. I'm going to be interested in see. Yes, you've seen the trailers of Bucky and Sam saying, we want the shield, and him saying, you don't really want to do this. And Bucky going, yeah, we do. But I also wonder, with all of that on camera, that's going to get the US government on the side of taking the shield away from him. So
yeah, I think so.
I think he's going to give up the shield, actually, when he realizes the damage he's caused.
That could happen.
Which is to me a little bit of a redemption for him, right? Like he's going to try and self-redeem a little bit. I don't think he's going to be redeemed by the end of the series, but I do think we're going to see movement.
Again, they've made him such an unlikable character. It's hard to believe. Like even Zemo, even though he was a bad guy in the original movie and he killed King T'Chaka, his motives for what he did were somewhat understandable, and he wasn't the worst bad guy we've ever seen, though his history with Hydra means he's not very good.
Yeah.
But at least so in that way you can kind of see, but like they've done so much to make him unlikable. I just don't, it's going to take really some real trick to get the audience to like him again.
There was something that confused me.
Okay. Just something.
A lot, but one specific part confused me when Zemo had the Turkish delight, and he gave it to the kids, and the little girl trusted him and told him where the funeral was going to be. And then he said, these men are bad. Don't trust them. Talking obviously about Sam and Bucky. But then he walks with them to the little girl. That really confused me. Because if I was a little girl, I'd be like, excuse me, but those people are bad, and you're with them.
Those people are bad. Yeah,
I agree. That
wondering,
was kind of a weird way
Yeah.
to handle it.
and with the whole Turkish delight, I'm not convinced that's innocent. I'm not convinced that's innocent at all.
What do you think he was like drugging them? I mean, I thought it was like he was just trying to ingratiate himself, and that was the way to
I don't know.
ingratiate himself with giving them candy because they're children.
I know maybe I'm
That's
a
how I
cynic
took
on that, but you know,
I don't know. I didn't-
usually a bad guy. So
Yeah, I didn't take it that I took it the way that he was trying to be in control of the situation. And the only way
Yeah.
he could get in control of the situation was for him to have more information than Sam and Bucky had. And the way to do that was by being smart and giving candy to kids, right? Not asking adults who aren't going to trust you, but giving kids candy and sort of grooming behavior. if
yeah,
you
which had a
will.
little bit of a creeper vibe to it. Yeah.
Absolutely, but it was effective, right? He got the
Yeah.
information he
I mean,
needed, and Sam and Bucky didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Gina says she parallels Walker with Homelander from The Boys. I'll admit I don't know what that is.
I haven't seen The Boys. It's on a different streaming service.
Okay. Power he becomes worse. And that kind of ties into Rebecca's comment of it's been said in previous movies that the serum only enhances the person's character underneath it. If anyone saves Walker, it's going to be himself.
Yeah, I hear you, sister.
Yeah. Although, you know, Chad says his bet is Walker injects his stolen loot. Stolen loot?
I
Don't know what, but it amplifies his bad nature and he's a new villain. Well, if he's already drank the last of the super serum, how's he going to inject his stuff?
Oh, I think that's what Chad's meaning. Yeah. So Chad, I think you're maybe misunderstanding. He's already injected himself with the super serum. And so he's already amplified.
Yeah, they didn't come out and say that, but they implied it.
He's going to, he already has.
Was
already
it
has.
Sam that looked at him and said, "What did you do?" Because
when he twisted
broke
that metal bar.
That metal thing. Yeah. Yeah, he's already did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the debate I think we're having, Chad, is whether or not he's going to be a villain or whether or not he's going to redeem himself or whether or not he's just going to kind of disappear into the oblivion, right? I think there's those three options.
Yeah. Glenn's on my side, thinks the U.S. tries to take the shield away and Walker goes rogue. Falcon intervenes and keeps the shield. Because we know from the first previews they ever showed us, Sam, thank you. Sam is in Louisiana practicing with the shield. Mm-hmm. So we know at some point he's going back to Louisiana, and by that point he will have the shield.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of the series, I think. Like I said, I'm betting that Walker's going to give up the shield at some point in the next, maybe not the next episode, but by the last episode. And then that's when, and he's going to give it up to Sam, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gina thought, Gina's on my side about the Turkish delight, but then again, Rebecca would say, what Disney movie is going to drug children? It's not Disney. It's Marvel. It's not Disney. It's Marvel.
It's Disney, but it's Marvel, and Marvel does dark stuff. Yeah.
I didn't think that at all.
We have
I thought
Aurora
that was just
get drugged. Aurora
gets drugged. Snow White gets drugged. I mean,
there's some questionable. Yeah. We'll talk, Rebecca.
And Rebecca, remember they kill everyone's parents. I mean, everyone's parents in the Disney movie, usually before the movie starts.
There's one set of parents that is together: Pongo and Perdita in 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, pretty much everybody else, at least
Rapunzel's parents. Rapunzel's parents. We don't see them for most of the movie.
No, but she gets kidnapped. Gets kidnapped.
So she's not with her parents. She's not with her parents, though. So Willie had an interesting point. Major rumor out there that the original plot was based around a global pandemic. Remember they talked about the vaccines in some of the first episodes? Then they had to reshoot and rewrite a lot of it to a new plot due to the sensitivity. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I do remember when they were talking about the vaccines were the super serum.
That's how I took it too, but it could be.
But Rebecca says, that's why there's so many patchy parts in the story and why it feels super unconnected. Had to reshoot multiple scenes regarding this Flag Smasher 8. So, yeah. And Gina says, remind her of Narnia with Turkish delight for Peter. Yeah.
Yes, and, I thought the same thing, Gina.
And, Disney's dark. Yeah. Glenn, question, what feed are all the other comments coming in from? They're watching us on YouTube. So come on over to YouTube, like, subscribe, and share with us. And yeah, that way you'll be all wherever the cool kids are. And I really just butchered that. But anyway, so any last thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier?
As I said, I want to see where it goes, but I'm a little afraid.
Down the next 2 weeks.
I guess what I'm assuming is there's going to be some kind of resolution of the series, and Sam kind of makes a point. Maybe there's going to be a season 2, and we won't really resolve everything. But yeah. I expect from these Marvel series that they are going to kind of be, even if there are additional seasons, I expect them to mostly resolve by the end of the season, because you don't know there's going to be a second season. So if you're going to leave us hanging.
Yeah,
I think some of it's going to resolve. That's the thing. I think to me, it's the resolution of who's going to be the new Captain America. That's going to resolve. But I do think a lot of these other smaller plot lines are not going to resolve, or they're going to leave some good fodder for either a season 2 or for a movie. So I think that's what we'll see.
Okay.
I have thoughts, but I can't stop sneezing. So, so it's fine.
Bless you.
Yeah. So next we have our diamond in the rough. Okay. This was suggested by one of our community members to watch Jane, which it is a documentary on Jane Goodall, uses lost footage of her or archival footage of her as she is setting up to interact with the chimpanzees, and then as she goes through it. Sam, what were our thoughts of Jane?
All right. Well, I'm sorry to the one of our fans who requested this. I couldn't get through it. I watched about the first half hour of this, and I found it to be a snooze fest, and that's being really nice, actually. I know the story of Jane Goodall. I've watched other movies and documentaries about Jane Goodall that I have enjoyed. This one was not that. It was so slow and so boring. It's just her sitting around in the jungle. I mean, the part I saw, because to be fair, I didn't watch the whole thing. Just looking around with her binoculars and taking notes to try and see the chimpanzees and to try and get them to be used to, to get used to her from a distance. Total snooze fest, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else felt any different, but Pete, how did you feel about it?
I made it through the whole thing. It got a little better towards the end, but yeah, it was an awful lot of footage of Jane and eventually her future husband sitting around in the jungle watching chimps, and I don't feel like I got very much out of it. I said it got a little better towards the end, where a little more happened, but I agree. I mean, I think her life is fascinating. I just think it moved way too slow to make for. I mean, it was probably a thing. Oh, we found all this great footage. Let's do something with it. But an hour and a half of just showing this footage was, and they kept like cutting to like bugs and birds and things like that too during it. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. It's great that you had footage of birds, but this isn't part of the story. So I didn't care for it.
Yeah. To me, the first half, I watched the first half while I was sitting at school, and the first half hour sitting watching the.
Don't they pay you to work, Derek?
No, planning period. Come on, trust me. There are days that this is how I avoid not killing kids. So, it's I was able to I love sitting at the zoo and watching animals. So that first half hour, it was almost kind of a Zen-like feeling. I did think some of her comments about, her being referred to as a helpless female in the 60s were really telling, and her reactions to that were really nice to hear. I watched this in 2 segments. The second half got long. And it would have been, if they'd made it a 45-minute show, because again, there is some interesting stuff and kind of sad stuff that happens to the chimps at the end and talks about her relationship and everything. It's just, it wasn't me. Kate, is there any hope for Jane?
So I am really outspoken on how much I love documentaries, like really outspoken about it. And I had so much hope for it because I love powerful women, and I love just amazing women who don't fit the stereotype and who do the amazing things. And one thing at the very beginning of the documentary is in an interview, they asked her, like, so I'm not good at quoting things right back, but and my nose just wants me to sneeze over and over. But they asked her, like, do you something about being a man? Like, well, are you actually a man or something like that? And she was like, no, but I've always been drawn to more masculine things. I like the wilderness and I like animals, and I was never thinking about getting married. I was never thinking about all this stuff. So when she said that, I was like, yes, sister, like, yes, fighting against the patriarchy and fighting against social norms, because I'm all about that. I love powerful women. Sam, you and I are very similar on this. I couldn't make it till the end, and I tried. Derek, I tried, and
it's fair.
I believe I texted you about 3/4 of the way through it and said, Derek, I don't think I can do this.
And I told you to not.
Yeah.
That's so funny, Kate, because I really thought you might like it, because I know you like documentaries.
I love documentaries.
Yeah. And so it was it's really funny to hear that you felt the exact same way about this. And I like some I've loved some of those Disney nature films that I've told you guys about. And Bears, by the way, if you haven't watched it yet, Kate, it's really good. You're gonna love it. But anyway, this one was just, this was not like Bears. Go watch Bears and save your time and skip
and let's be straight on it. The documentary wasn't about the chimps, it was about her. And I think there's a great documentary to be made about Jane Goodall. There's probably a great one out there already. This was not it.
No, this was
there is. I've watched one. I can't remember what it's called, but there's one from like a while back.
And Chad is shocked. Jane completely changed the game on activism. Rather than pick fights with corporate, she partnered with him. Chad, we are not disagreeing with you at all. Jane Goodall was amazing. The documentary was terrible.
Yes,
exactly. Agreed.
Can we also comment on the fact that they showed her in the early 60s and then they showed her now, and she's still a bombshell. Like, she looks exactly the same, just like a tiny bit older, and she's still like, sister, you're still a hottie, so you're doing great.
Yeah, she looks like they've put the aging makeup on her instead of actually had her getting older. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, she looks.
By the way, somebody's saying that Kate needs super serum for her sneezes. I thought that was a hilarious comment.
No, because then she'd be like blowing out the camera. So, Glenn, thank you. Loves the honest feedback. Been thinking of watching that, but TV time is always so limited. Happy to skip this one. And guys, real quick, cups of pixie dust on this one. Kate?
Okay, this is hard because I love amazing women. Like with Chad, you nailed it.
Not about Jane.
Go for the show.
Not about Jane the woman. Jane the show.
What
did you didn't make it through it?
Maybe a 1.5.
Okay.
I would watch Own the Room every day for the rest of my life if I didn't have to watch this documentary again.
I would watch Own the Room.
I liked Own the Room, and I would definitely watch it on repeat. Now I'm gonna give it 1 cup of pixie dust, and it's only getting 1 cup of pixie dust because of how badass Jane Goodall really is. I would give it 0 if I didn't think that Jane Goodall was an amazing person. Pete, how many cups?
Yeah, I would say I got to give it 1. As I said, it made me want to see a much better movie about Jane Goodall. Is mostly of what it did. There was some really great footage in it, so I guess there's that. But so if you're really a documentary junkie, a nature junkie, there might be something there for you. But I like documentaries. I like nature documentaries, and this one just didn't cut it.
Yeah, there were some cool visual shots.
Oh yeah. And because of the visual shots, I'm gonna give it 1.5, just because it's one that they take. Take any 8 minutes out of this and turn it into some of those Disney scenescape things. Put some put some nice nature sounds over the top of it, and it's okay. But yeah. Chad says you thought it did an amazing job of showing that she ticked off the activist of her day and delivered her results. Not sure we watched the same show, Chad. Because there are 2 relatively recent Jane Goodall shows, and we watched the one that had the white picture that was just called Jane. So there is another one, and we'll put the other one on the list and see if it's, if it comes back around.
Yeah, maybe it was a different one.
We'll preview it first before it goes on the list.
Yeah, Kate, I'm with Kate. I'm not sure I'm gonna.
They didn't really spend a lot of time with the activists, or maybe we watched a different one. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was mostly her tromping through the woods.
Yeah. So. Real quick, guys, Mighty Ducks had another episode. Any super fast thoughts? I mean, to me, it's cute, it's fun, it's brainless. I'm enjoying it.
I love it so much.
I think it's getting better. Honestly, I started out in the camp of this is, I didn't hate it, but it was kind of meh to me. But I would say it's getting better, and I'm starting to enjoy it. It's still not going to be at the top of my list. I'm still going to say Marvel is always going to top over Mighty Ducks, but my 7-year-old is enjoying it, and Brian's enjoying it, and so we're watching it every week. So
I can't get my 17-year-old to watch it, but she doesn't like sports things. Like, she considers if it's sports, she doesn't want to watch it. But
I also think it's not really for the 17-year-old crowd.
Probably it's for the 10-year-old or the 35-year-old.
Right. But again, I didn't really care for the Mighty Ducks movie. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm honestly enjoying it a little more than Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I want to see more of the kid character development. I liked the little story arc they gave the podcast kid with
the girl,
Coco Kate or whatever her name is. I forget what her.
No, Coco Chad was the guy. So
Coco Chad was the guy. Okay, yeah. So,
but I think we haven't heard the last of the whole. The girl comes over to the team like we all thought she would. Now she has to tell her mom. I don't think we've heard the last of the different moms, especially because the next episode is called Hockey Moms. So
did you guys watch the preview that they had for they've been putting out as a separate thing, a little preview. It's like a little 1-minute teaser or 2-minute teaser. It's like a commercial, and it's going to be a competition between the moms. It's a mom competition, so it's going to be like a
on the ice
hockey shooting competition. It's kind of like when they have those basketball like dunk competitions.
And there goes the shark. It's officially been jumped.
Okay,
yeah, it's not a great plot line, but we'll see how they do it.
I want to add in this though. I love that they have touched and brought in that pressure that is being put on teens.
Mm-hmm.
And I can speak to this as a youth motivational speaker as my full-time career. That is so real for teenagers right now. And if you look at even like there's like magnet middle schools of you think you might want to be a nurse. Awesome. You're going to go to this magnet middle school. So that is so real and so relevant for youth right now.
It isn't everybody that does it, but there are a lot of parents that do it.
And it's getting younger and younger. It's getting pushed down.
It is not all parents.
But the only thing I don't like about the show is how terrible they make the Mighty Ducks. Like, I don't know how you call this show the Mighty Ducks, and
that's true.
Unless at the end there's going to be like a bet where they take the name or something like that, which to me might.
Oh, I actually kind of like that.
I also loved that. I believe it was Rebecca, my baby sister, and I's favorite character, Nick, the podcast kid, who was like, we're either going to win or we're going to learn something about ourselves. And I was like,
I know, it was so cute.
But it's my only critique. And listen, like, I will fight to the death on how great this, I am willing to die on this hill of how great the show is. This could be a movie. they could have just made it a movie.
Yep.
They totally could have made it.
They could have just made it a movie.
Yeah.
It could be so good as just a movie.
At least we did find out why the Gordon Bombay character is not coaching anymore.
Yes.
And where he gave the kid, was it money or like some money for skates or something like that?
Money for tape
on his
to tape
which
his hockey stick.
Actually has a connection to like there stuff like that happens in college sports. I know. Well, in 1989, coach for the University of Kansas, had a kid that had to fly home for a funeral and couldn't afford it. He gave the kid money for the funeral and then called the NCAA and said, look, this is what I did. And he got kicked out of the school and put on probation for 10 years and all that.
This really happened?
Yes.
This kind of stuff really happens. Yeah. The NCAA has super strict rules about what you can give student athletes. And so there's actually going to be, it'll be interesting to see, I'm a lawyer. And so there's some movement about whether or not college, like basketball and football players can make money now off of their jerseys. And so we may see that shift. I think we'll see it shift in the next 5 or 10 years, that college players of like probably basketball and football primarily may be able to actually get around some of these rules and be able to make some money because the schools are making big money off of these players. Yeah. Anyway, interesting tidbit.
But it did seem a little, I mean, maybe the fact you gave money for tape, but like you can't give a kid in your college team tape for their stick.
Well, like, that's the thing.
The team give him the tape?
He wasn't actually on the team though.
Oh,
I thought it was.
Oh, it was like a recruiting type thing.
Oh, it was
a recruiting thing.
It was a recruiting thing. That's right. But even equipment, you can provide equipment.
Just want to make the observation that no one in the chat from all of our friends has said anything, which means you may not be watching this show, which means that the Plus Platooner Kate is going to tell you, you should go watch this show because it will make your heart really happy.
Glenn, this is a show that's worth 30 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
I think it's not an hour. 30 minutes.
I'm going to say this. If you're not a fan of Disney sports movies, then don't watch this show. But if you like Disney sports movies,
that's fair.
then this is a nice little addition. But if you're not into, these, The Rookie and other sort of kind of cheesy sports movies, then don't watch this. Yeah. But Willie is commenting and Ed is commenting. Willie is saying, huge college sports fan. Kids should have a say in how they transact on their image and likeness. I agree with you, Willie. I think, like I said, I think we'll see that change. Ed is also saying he's watching it, but he has no comments. It's just meh. That's kind of how I felt about it, Ed, but it's growing on me just a little bit. Chad is saying he's not able to get into it. And so,
I want to know what character looks like Glenn in college, because Glenn said there's actually a character that looks exactly. I want to know which character, Glenn.
Yeah. So, hashtag don't silence Kate.
Don't silence Kate.
Oh, trust me, we can still hear her in the background. No one's ever going to silence Kate.
That's
Brian and I are like this.
Brian's a big fan of yours, Kate. he really loves Disney news, Disney Plus news. So
nailed it.
Okay, coming up next week, we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, next to last episode, and we've got the Big Shot premiere. Okay?
What is the Big Shot, Derek?
Okay, well, now, apologies to Lin-Manuel Miranda in advance, but every action
need to tread very lightly.
Yeah, you need to tread very lightly. I'm very serious about Lin-Manuel.
Let him do it.
So.
Let him do it.
Let me do. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. John Walker messed up bad. I tolerate the guy, but he's in traction. The poor Mandalorian, he's missing in action. And now I'm facing John Stamos with his own faction. He's popular with millennials. They see Uncle Jesse. He can't play other characters. It just gets messy. The problem is he's a more handsome Gordon Bombay. He can try to do well if the hair flip doesn't get in the way. It must be nice to have recycled stars on your side.
Oh my God, I just fell in love with you, Derek. Kate and I are both in love with you. Please leave your wife for us. We'll be sister wives.
Okay. If any of you didn't catch that,
That was election of 1800 from Hamilton.
That was so good.
That was so good.
You did. I'm proud to call you my brother.
Fair enough.
Was so
proud. I'm proud.
But seriously, though, I just hope it's not a typical stereotypical Hoosiers knockoff. Coach comes in, teaches him his way. The girls learn they have to change. He falls for either a teacher or counselor or school mom or something. Show me some reason to watch it that's not John Stamos.
Oh, I love John Stamos. He's adorable. So I'm going to watch it anyway.
Well, I mean,
whether or not we talk about it on this show, I'm going to watch it.
Unless he's Coach Kasopoulos, who cares?
I know.
So,
for those who don't know, John Stamos was Jesse Kasopoulos on Full House, and so he played one of the uncles or the uncle of the young girls in Full House, and was a beloved character. And also had made some really nice comments about Elizabeth Olsen during WandaVision, because he obviously knew her because she's the younger sister of the Olsen twins.
Yes, and she was on the.
If you watched the making of WandaVision, Elizabeth Olsen talked about growing up on the set of Full House.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Sam, what do you want to see from Big Shot? Any expectations? Any requests?
No, but I want you to do some more Hamilton rapping on this show next week. So I think you need to, come up with a new rhyme for next week.
See what I can come up with.
Can't top that.
But I do want to say.
No, that's a challenge, Pete. Okay.
But I do want to say that Ryan wants you to leave your wife for him, by the way, in the comments. So that I just wanted to point that out.
Get out of here.
I love it. Honestly, I have no expectations. I really haven't read or heard too much about the show. I'm just excited because I love John Stamos. Okay. Pete, anything you?
If I enjoyed as much as the Mighty Ducks, I'll probably be happy. I can't imagine watching two sports shows simultaneously like that. So I kind of think after an episode or two, I may pick one or the other. So good luck, John.
Fair point.
Uncle Jesse can do no wrong. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Unlike his wife on the show, but we won't go there.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so
guys,
that's our show for today. If you guys have suggestions for stuff we should watch, email us plusplatoon@gmail.com, and also visit us at Facebook. Facebook.com/plusplatoon. On Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, we are Plus Platoon. On YouTube, simply search Plus Platoon, and we are here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So with that, guys, I think we will say good night, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.